Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the most useful tools you can have in Portuguese, the imperative, or, the command form. But don't let that name scare you off. This is not about boring grammar rules. It's about getting you a practical toolkit for real life. We're talking about everything from asking for a quick favor to giving directions or just offering some friendly advice. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's start with a really simple, everyday situation. Picture this. You're in a hot, stuffy room with a friend. How do you ask them to open the window? This is exactly the kind of problem the imperative solves. And the best part? You're going to know exactly how to say it in just a couple of minutes.
So, first things first. The word command can sound a little harsh, right? A little bossy. But in Portuguese, the imperative is used for so much more than just telling people what to do. It's actually the most natural way to make polite requests, give helpful advice, or lay out simple directions. It's a huge part of everyday conversation.
Okay, so let's start with the easiest one, what I like to call the secret shortcut. This is for when you're talking to a friend, a family member, basically anyone you'd use the informal to with. There is a brilliantly simple trick for this.
And here's the trick. Seriously, it's this simple. It's just 2 steps. First, you think of the present tense form for he or she. So for the verb to speak, that's ele fala. Got it? Now, for step 2, you just say that word. Fala. That's it. You've just given a perfect natural-sounding informal command.
Let's see this in action. To tell a friend to speak, it's fala. To tell them to eat, come. And to answer that question from the beginning, how do you ask your friend to open the window? You just say, abre janela. See, it's that easy.
Okay, so you've totally mastered the casual command, but what happens when you're not talking to a friend? What if you need to be a bit more respectful, or maybe you're talking to a whole group of people? Well, this is where we need to switch up our style.
Exactly. You probably wouldn't use that same informal shortcut with your boss or a stranger on the street. For those situations, we need a different tool. But don't you worry, it's based on another super simple, totally predictable pattern that's just as easy to remember.
And here it is. This is the magic key. I call it the vowel swap rule. This little trick unlocks all the formal and plural commands. And this time the secret isn't in the he/she form, but in the I form of the verb.
Okay, let's break this down. For verbs that end in R, like falar, you start with the I form, el falo. See that O at the very end? You're just going to swap it for an A, so it becomes fale. Now for verbs ending in ER or ir, like comer or abrir, you do the exact same thing. Start with the I form, como, abro. But this time, you swap that final O for an A, coma, abra. And what if you want to make any of these plural? You just add an M to the end. Falam, comum, abram. So the most important part is just knowing when to use each one. We've got our informal shortcut and our formal vowel swap. Let's see them side by side in a few real situations. This is where it's all going to click. Imagine you're asking someone to speak more quietly. To your son, you'd just use that informal shortcut. Fala mais baixo. But to an elder, someone like Mr. Matos, you'd show respect with the vowel swap. Fale mais baixo. It's the same request, but that one little letter change makes all the difference in tone.
Let's try another one. Eat the soup. To your son, it's come sopa. But to Mr. Matos, it's coma a sopa. You can really see that pattern locking in now, can't you? It's just that predictable vowel swap changing the level of formality.
And one last time. Open the door. Informally, abre a porta. Formally, abra a porta. And just like that, you've got the tools you need to handle both casual and formal requests perfectly.
All right, now that you have the mechanics down, let's zoom out a bit. Because like we said at the start, this is not just about telling people what to do. The imperative is your key to sounding way more natural when you're giving advice, directions, and a whole lot more.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, because when you master this one structure, you unlock 4 key communication skills all at once. Yeah, you learn how to give an order, but you also learn how to offer great advice, give crystal clear directions, and make a polite request. It's an incredibly versatile tool to have.
Here's a perfect example of giving advice. Apanim un taxi. Take a taxi. You're not ordering them, you're just suggesting a better, faster way to do something. This is a really common and helpful use of the plural command.
And directions? I mean, they're built almost entirely out of imperatives. Vire aqui à direita. Turn right here. And then, siga sempre em frente, and continue straight ahead.
You simply can't get around a Portuguese-speaking city without this.
All right, you've seen the rules, you've seen the examples, and you've seen all the ways you can use this. Now it's time to put it all into practice. Let's run through a few quick scenarios to test your new skills and make sure all this information really sticks. You ready?
The first one, you're feeling cold and you're speaking to one person formally, so using você. The action is to put on the coat, or vestir o casaco. What do you say? Take a second to think about it.
And the answer is vista o casaco, por favor. We use vista because vestir is an ER verb, so for that formal command, the vowel has to swap to A. Excellent.
Okay, next scenario. You're with a group of friends, so we need the plural form. They're all thirsty. Your suggestion is to drink some juice, or beber sumo. How would you say that?
You got it. Bebam sumo. Beber is an ER verb, so that plural command ending is M. Simple and effective.
All right, last one. This brings us full circle. You're giving some advice to a friend, so we're back to the informal too. The task is to look up the words in the dictionary, which is ver as palavras no dicionário. What's the command? And the answer is ve as palavras no dicionário. We're right back to our simple shortcut. The he/she form of ver is just ve, and that's all you need. With just those two simple patterns, the shortcut and the vowel swap, you now have the tools to give commands, make requests, and offer advice to anyone in Portuguese. The only question left is, what are you going to command first? Thanks for watching.